Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Bree from Live Bree, and today I'm going to be working with another Scrap Diva Designs die. So this one is the A2 card box add-on flowers, and usually when it's an add-on, that means that there's a die that coordinates with it. I did actually look up just before I recorded to see if there was a die, and online I did see she did come out with a coordinating die for this. And it's called the A2 gift box die. So this is what it looks like. And this is the add-on for that. So if you guys want to get both dies, I'll have both of the names down below for you guys. Card box add-on, and you want to get the box as well, I'll have both of those down below, as well as my affiliate link that you could use. That's optional. It's no cost to you to use. I do just earn a small commission from it, so I'll have all those down below for you guys. But that's the die that we're going to be using today. And I did already kind of prep some stuff. I'm also going to be using the Park Lane Easter paper crafting pad. If you guys have not seen one of my last Joann's hauls, I say one of them because I still have to record my actual last haul. This is the paper pad that I got from there, and I'm madly obsessed with it. So this is the Easter paper crafting paper pad, and the patterns that I used, which you will be seeing, is this floral one, and I have this carrot paper, which I wasn't too fond of, but you guys, I ended up using a bunny paper and thought the carrots matched, so I decided to go with these three papers right here. You'll be hearing my son. He's kind of on one right now. So I have this floral paper, the carrot, and then the cute little bunnies. I am obsessed with these bunnies. So those are the three patterns that I decided to go with. As for the cardstock that I used today, I was able to grab some papers from Joann's. Okay, so the cardstock that I'm using is Basil Buttercream, and this cardstock really goes well with this paper pad. It's like a cream yellowish color, well, obviously buttercream. So that's the paper that I'm using for the box today. I did use two 12 by 12 sheets of it because the size that I needed would not fit within two 12 by 12s. So that's what I've used, and then okay. So that's the paper pad that I'm using. And I already have some things already cut up here just to have ready. And then here are my two sheets of paper that I've already cut. So let me share with you guys how I create my boxes. This is one of the easier boxes to make compared to some other ones that you can make on your own. So this is a rectangular die, which is one of the easiest ones to work with, and I'm going to share with you guys how I created the base for this, so in case you guys have other dies that are kind of similar to this but a different size, you can make them. So let me show you guys. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly kind of sketch out how I make my boxes. Okay, so let me actually put my pen away. Alright, you guys, so what I start with is my base measurements. So for this does measure 18 inches, if that makes sense, like 18th inch measurement. So it did measure 4 5/8, I believe. Yeah, 4 5/8 by 5 7/8. What I did was I made it 1/8 of an inch bigger. So for me, I mean, it's up to you what you want to do. For me, I went with 4 3/4. I'm just gonna, let's start over. Okay, so my measurements were 4 3/4 by 6 inches. That's what I went off of. Now, once I did that, I tried to figure out how tall I wanted my box. So this box, I wanted to just be an 1 inch. So what I do is, once I have my base measurement, I draw like whatever size it is. It could be a square, rectangle, whatever it is. And this is not going to be perfect. But this is my 4 3/4 by 6 inch piece of, you know, paper or whatever it is. So that's the main piece, which is this right here. And then what I do is I want a 1 inch height to my box. So I'm going to add 1 inch to each side. Again, not perfect, but it is what it is. Okay, so you're going to technically have something like this. You're going to have these as well. Okay, so this is what you're going to have once you score it. Just remember, this is 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch. Now it could be 2 inches, it could be 3, however tall you want this to be. That's what your, you know, the height of your box is going to be. So you're just going to have it on all 4 sides. If you're going to want 2 inches, remember to add 2 on each side of your rectangle or square. So right now I have 1 and 1, 1 and 1. And what I'm going to do is add 4 3/4, right? This is my 4 3/4 inch side, is this right here, right? Going this way. So that means I need to add this 1 plus 4 3/4 plus 1. So that's 4 plus 2 is 6 3/4. Now we know going up and down is 6. So then you do 1 and 1, which is 2, plus 6 is 8. So this is your main 4 3/4 by 6, which is the center piece, plus the height of your box, which is, to me, or for me, is going to be 1 inch each. So I just add the extra 2 to this side here, and then up and down I add in an extra 1 and 1, which is 8. So my end result is going to be 6 3/4 by 8. Now when you want to score it, for me personally, to make sure that all my sides are all the exact same score, it's going to be 1 inch all around. Now that is just for, you know, the outer edge. Now if you want to do it by measurements, then on your 4 3/4 or your 6 3/4 side, sorry. So on your 6 3/4 side, if you don't want to just do 1 inch all around and you want to do by measurement, you would score at 1 and 4 3/4. Then you're going to flip it around and you're going to score at 1 and 6 inches. And that will give you your 4 3/4 in the center, if that makes sense. So, but again, I personally do like to have it being 1 all around, because some scoreboards, the measurements aren't exactly the exact same. So I do like to do it where it's scored at every 1 inch. So I hope that makes sense. I'm not the best at this, but this is the most easiest box you can make, especially if you're going to be layering something and it's a rectangle or a square. So easy. So that's basically how I do mine. That's how I come up with my measurements on that. Okay, so let me put this away. All right, so here are my 2 sheets. Now I have labeled one for the top and one for the bottom. The reason being is that, so this top side or top piece, you want it to be just a slight bit bigger than the bottom, so when you put it on top, it goes on nicely and it's not too snug. So for this one, you can cut this down to 6 13. Actually, you can cut it down to 6 13/16 by 8 1/16. Now the measurements are a little weird, but I promise you that's 1/8 of an inch is going to help. So your 16ths are going to be the smaller lines between your 1/8. And I'm sure a lot of you guys probably know this, but in case you guys are new and don't really use your measuring, you got your 16ths, which are the smallest ones right here, those very thin lines, and then you got your 1/8 inch and your 1/4. So 13/16 is literally going to be this line right here, and then, you know, so on. But and then your 1/16 would be right after your whole number. So that's what you're going to be measuring for your top piece. I'll make sure to have this down below. But again, 6 13/16 by 8 1/16. The bottom is going to be just your normal 6 3/4 by 8. Okay, now for the top, I'm going to create a frame because I do want this to be acetate. And so I'm using this layering die for the top, and then I'm going to put this sheet right here below it, and that's going to get adhered onto here. So what I'm going to do first is, okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to fold all these down, but I am going to definitely keep this one flat. So what we're going to do is fold this over and just make sure you crease all of your score lines, because with any 3D project you want to have your lines to be creased as best as you can, or as much as you can have it. It just makes it so much easier to put together. Okay, so this is going to be the top piece like I labeled, and I'm going to show you guys how to cut your piece here. So on the top I have my 6 3/4 inch piece. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this bottom 1 inch side right here. Okay, so this 1 inch piece right here, I'm going to go ahead and cut that. Now what I do is when I cut right here, I'm going to cut right on the inside of the score line. I hope that makes sense. So I don't know if you guys can see. So this is a score line. There's a left and a right to it. I'm going to score or cut to the right of it. And then I'm just going to make a little angle on the left. So let me show you guys. And don't mind the crusty nails. I got to get those done. But as you guys can see, it's just angled just a little bit. So that way when I fold it over, it's going to line up nicely, and there's nothing in the way. So now on the right side, I'm going to cut to the left of the score line, and then cut at an angle here. And then you're going to do the same thing to the other side. Just flip it over and cut. Ooh, shaky. What's happening? Okay, so now that we got that cut, I'm going to do the same thing to the bottom. I'm going to fold this. I'm going to fold this, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the tops and the bottoms. Again, for me, I like to have this shorter side facing upward. You can cut whichever way, just know you have to have little tabs. So I'm going to do the same thing to this one and fold it. But I like consistency when it comes to cutting, so I just, you know, try to copy whatever I did with the last one and have the same cuts on the same sides. So I'm just going to go ahead and fold this one and do the cuts, and then I'll be right back. Okay guys, so for my top piece, I'm going to set this to the side really quick. And for my top piece, what I'm going to do is I'm bringing my paper trimmer. And what I'm going to do now with my paper trimmer, I have the Fiskars one. Let me move this to the side. So I have my Fiskars one. This has a track on here. Not all paper trimmers have one, but that's why I love my Fiskars one, is because it has that track. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this as even as possible. So I'm going to take this score line, and what I'm going to do is line it up to the 1/4 inch right here. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to, from this point right here, from this 1 inch on this side, I'm going to go down 1/4. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so for me, with this size, so I'm lining it up at the 1 5/16 inch. Again, this is the paper trimmer that I have. You can use a ruler and a X-Acto knife if you'd like also, and trace out your rectangle. But mine is just, you need a 1/4 inch frame. So that's what I'm doing here. So I'm just going to move down. I'm going to do that to all sides here. Okay, so now once you have that cut, you're going to have this piece that you can save for another project. And here is your frame that you're going to have. So once you put it together, you'll have that frame. What I'm going to do is I am going to, before I put it together, I am going to stitch this onto the front of the box. So I'm going to run this to my machine. I don't really need to run there because it's right next to me, but I'm going to bring it to my machine, and I am going to stitch this. Look at how cute it is. And I've already done some stitching on the layering pieces, so I'll be using the same exact thread, which is this light yellow color, and it matches very well with the and the thread matches really well with the cardstock. It's like a really creamy yellow color. So I did that for the outer layers. The inner layers I did not do any stitching with, but I'll share that with you guys later. I'm gonna run this to my machine really quick. You know what I mean? And I'm just gonna stitch this onto the front here, and I will be right back. And just an FYI, if you guys want a thicker border, you can definitely make a thicker border if you'd like. You can do like 1/2 inch maybe, and you should still be good. I just don't want any yellow showing through, you know, I don't want it showing through the little flowers here, so that's why I did that. But let me go ahead and do the stitch. Let me go ahead and sew this really quick. Okay guys, so this is what I'm doing to stitch the piece down onto the cover on the lid. So I have this side clipped on the right side, and then right here on the left I'm going to start my stitch. And then obviously the closer I get to here, I would have to unfold this, because then I don't want to switch that. I mean, I don't want to stitch this down, you know. So that's how I'm holding it into place, because you don't want it to slip around, or else it'll realign and then it won't line up. So that's how I'm doing that. But yeah, and then I did add, oh, and then I did glue my top layer down onto the acetate, but I just glued it lightly. So I put just a really thin piece of glue on the edge right here, because I don't want my needle to get all gunky, just so that way it sticks a little bit better. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this to my machine, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I actually have to redo the top layer because I made a mistake. I did the stitching right in the middle of the frame. I should have done it more to the left, because that border is so thin. If I were to make it any thicker, you'll see it through these flowers, which I really didn't want. And what I mean by that is, you guys can see there's this frame here. It would be sticking out the edge here, which I don't want for this. So yeah, I made the mistake of putting the stitching right in the middle here, because it just came right off of the box. So I'm redoing this part right here. I'm gonna share with you guys, because I realized in the beginning of how I folded or like how I scored these. So this is the top where I made it 6 and 13/16 by 8 and 1/16. What I'm going to do is score all the sides at 1. And then now you have your score lines, and then this is where you're going to be doing your cuts. Oops. Right here on the top and the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, since I showed you guys that part. And I'm going to do the frame. I am still going to do the same frame. It's going to be a thin one, but if you guys are going to do it the way I did, stitch more to the left side so that it actually attaches to the, you know, frame on the box. Or you can stitch this and then glue it down. So that's what I'm going to do. Just going to fold this. Okay guys, so I'm going to go ahead and glue this down onto the frame here. As you guys can see in the back, where I did my stitching was literally right here. So I guess you can make your frame a little bit bigger by like another 1/8 of an inch, and you should be fine. So about like, I would say 7/8 of an inch. No, because this is a 1/4 plus an 1/8. 5/8 of an inch would be a good size for your frame. But I'm just going to keep it at this 1/4 inch, and I'm going to glue this. And once I glue this on, I'm also going to glue the outer parts of my box as well. I like to glue my layering pieces before I put the box together, because it's easier, and it ensures that the pieces are going to be stuck on there pretty good. Okay, and then for my layering pieces, I cut my layering pieces to 4 5/8 by 7/8 of an inch. And then for my longer pieces, I cut them down to 5 7/8 by 7/8. If I remember, I'll leave the measurements down below, and sometimes I put them on the screen. Most of the time I do. But this is how I'm going to glue them. Just make sure you're gluing them facing downward, because again, the box is going to fold over. So just keep that in mind. I'm going to use liquid glue as well for this part, and I'm going to adhere this down. Okay guys, so I already put one of the boxes together, which is going to be this bottom part right here. And the reason why I didn't do the inside pieces yet is because if you guys can see right here, where I glued the tabs, you could still see the tabs. And I wanted to use the pattern papers to cover those right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the pattern paper to hide those on the inside. And before I do that, let me show you guys how I put the box together. Okay, so you have these little tabs on the top and the bottom. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold these, make sure they're folded really good. And what you're going to do is you're going to take each of these tabs and glue them to the shorter piece. So you just fold this up this way. And these little tabs you're going to add glue to and glue these down. Just like this. And I'm just going to use hot glue. These I feel okay using hot glue with. So I'm going to do one side at a time here. And adhere it. And when I get to the end and I have the two pieces, I just do both at the same time. And I just close it up. Okay guys, so now we have the top part. So what I'm going to do is adhere all my little carrots down, little pieces here. So that way I can decorate the front really quick. So I'm just going to add liquid glue. Okay you guys, so here is the inside all lined up. It has the cute carrots and the bunnies. And here's the cover. So the cover, I didn't do the inside, but I did the outside. So when you open it, the inside's going to be decorated. And also, if you add pattern paper to the outer edge, if you didn't leave enough space when you did your cutting and scoring, it'll get too tight and then you won't be able to close it. So that's another reason why I prefer doing my layers on the outside and then on the inside. So here's the front. And as you guys can see, there's some stitching on there. And here's the sides with the stitching as well. So all four sides have the stitching, and then I decided to use this green bunny paper, which I think is so cute. I love how the front is looking. Okay, and then now I'm gonna show you guys that this just goes right on top. Okay, so now just put it on, and there you go. A perfect fit for the front cover. But look at how cute! How freaking adorable is that inside part? Sorry you guys, I have all the lights on as it's super dark and cold here. But you can even, you know, put pattern paper on the back. You can punch some holes right here so that way when you open it, it's a little bit easier. But there's enough space for you to be able to pull it open. So box looks. Now I'm going to just quickly embellish the front. I don't know why I took it off. Maybe I should just keep it on. Okay guys, so I'm going to, I have a couple of flowers here that I want to use. And I think I'm just gonna line, like put these in the corners, like this. I think that would be, oops, sorry. I think that would be cute like that. Simple embellishing today, nothing crazy. And I'm just gonna scatter some of these flowers here, these little mini ones. Oops, that's from glue. Okay guys, so this is the finished box. I did add just a couple of diamond dots. I don't know if you guys can see up here. There are just some diamond dots there. And I put some here. Oh my gosh. The glare is crazy. Okay, and then there's some here and down here. I didn't want to do much to this area because I want to be able to have a lot of area where you could see what's inside. So I didn't want to put too much, but I really love the pop of pink color, of pink flowers on there. And I just love how simple it is. So this is the final box that you can create with this die. Again, if you guys end up getting the die that goes with this, you won't even have to worry about creating one of these. But in case you don't have them, or if you have any other dies, you can create your own boxes using just a couple of simple steps. You'll be able to create your own box. But she has a great die, you know, that you can use along with this frame die. Even if you don't want to make a box, you can make a really cute card out of it. You can do a lot of things with this. So I do highly recommend getting it, you guys. The flowers are just so adorable, if you guys can see right here. I am so happy I have this die in my stash now, because you guys know me, my flowers. And these flowers are just so adorable. So here it is, you guys. This is the die set. Show you guys. Again, it's the A2 card box add-on flowers, and it looks like this. I will have the names of the dies down below in case you guys would like to grab it. But I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video, and I hope that you guys got inspired to create a little box of your own. I hope that you guys have a great day, whatever day it is that y'all are watching this, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye!